Welcome to Story Punk. I'm Scott.
And I am Drew.
And this is your 2025 Story Punk wrap up as I point to the crowd that's not here and people can't see because this is audio.
And they're not cheering, which is why you know with this audio show, they're not there.
Yeah, well, they might cheer. You never know.
Oh, that's true.
Post-production is a hell of a thing.
Magic. Movie magic.
So anyway, we just wanted to take...
sorcery.
You're doing the transatlantic accent again? Extra. Anyway, sorry.
Do you want to talk about stuff?
Yeah, we're going to talk about stuff. We're going to talk about
a
a brief little, just a quick little overview, just to talk about, hey, we are back. Story Punk is back after a long hiatus. We started back, I guess it was August, and we came back because Drew kept bugging me.
Well, we started this 9 years ago.
Yes.
We did a bunch of episodes. I think that they were good and they showed some promise. And then life kind of didn't let us continue doing it. And that was understandable, but we were both, sad to have to stop doing it. And we talked about it over the years. And is it possible to start it? And this time didn't really work for you, and this time didn't really work for me. And then this time worked for both of us. And I'm thrilled. This is so much fun.
It was I just think it was just a matter of timing. We got about 8 episodes of that. I think that the one thing was when we came back, we decided that we were going to
focus,
be a lot more focused, and believe it or not,
this is our new focus.
Yeah,
brand.
This is focused, and we are this way we can kind of get out there what we want to say to the world about the films that we enjoy, and but in a more concise manner. And I think that's sort of probably what was missing the last time. And I'm glad that we were able to finally figure out a way to make that all work out. So
we also did not have present at every recording session a cat.
We did not. That's true. So,
Una really.
We did have some dogs. Sometimes.
Una, that's true. Una, and her full name now is Una Luna. Una brings a certain quality, not just from the litter box behind me, but she keeps us honest.
So, with that said, let's talk a little bit about 2025. Now, we did come in at about halfway, a little past the halfway point of the year, but a few things that
You're so good at calendar, Scott.
I calendar very well.
Nice.
But a few things that just to talk about, just sort of like highlights of what was going on just in cinema in general in 2025, and then we'll get a little more specific about.
Are you talking about the business of show?
Well, I mean, not exactly the business, but yeah, a little bit. One of the things that this sort of happened like earlier in the year was that I guess this is sort of the signal that a lot of these live action remakes are like, I think people are starting to get a little sick of them because you're
talking specifically like the
Snow
Disney
White
ones,
yes,
and
like
then things like How to Train Your Dragon, which I just watched and was perfectly pleasant, but I wasn't sure what the point was.
Yeah, I mean the I don't know how well the How to Train Your Dragon how that performed, but I know like The Lion King underperformed.
The sequel, the Barry Jenkins,
Mufasa, the live action.
Oh, the original. Did Jon Favreau do that? I think Jon Favreau did that.
Wait, no, you're right.
Because the new Lion King live action Lion King was Mufasa, which was a sequel to the live action remake of the animated movie.
But I don't think that one did very
well. Or prequel,
well.
excuse me. No, I don't think it
did very well either. But like the Snow White one specifically this year,
right?
That one like lost like over $100 million.
Yeah.
So I mean maybe, and to be honest, like I definitely don't know what the point is. And then they have the Moana one that's coming out. That's not even really live action. It's just a higher quality. It's like that more of that lifelike. It's like a better version of what's the creepy Tom Hanks Christmas movie.
Oh, Polar Express.
Polar Express. It's like a better version. The animation's like a better version of that. So it's like you're still animating.
Yeah,
it's weird.
but except that
that's for Moana. Did I say that? Okay.
Except that the Moana live action movie stars Frankie Adams, and also Rena Owen, who I really like. But Frankie Adams is the best. She's in The Expanse,
but she's not. But,
so
but it's not them, though.
She's Moana's mom.
They're just
and I'm
voice
like,
actors.
I'm like, why don't I get to see their performances? I don't understand.
That's.
Yeah,
I mean, at least if they did a live action, that would be at least some reason for this to exist. But like, you're just doing a different type of. You're just doing
that was one of my reactions to How to Train Your Dragon. The first movie, the animated one from 15 years ago, I think 2010, is a wonderful. It's a wonderful movie, and the music is one of my favorite scores. Just really spectacular, and the remake is by the same director. And so I saw it, and Kelly had never seen the animated ones, and I wanted to watch the new one. So I got the Blu-ray out of the library, which I recommend. Excellent way to watch physical media for free. And so she saw it for the first time, and she's like, yeah, this was really good. It was better than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was fun. I thought two things. The animated one was better, but also it's a movie about dragons made by a studio with studio special effects budget. Guess what? The dragons are animated in the live action one. They're CGI. Of course they're animated. So
they couldn't afford real ones.
Right. But I mean, no, they were all booked for the Game of Thrones spin-offs.
Oh, there we
go. But the House of the Dragon, they have to come from somewhere.
Yeah,
but I mean, in all seriousness, you're making an animated movie of a live action movie of an animated movie that's full of animation. And is the animation good? Do the dragons look cool, especially toothless? Yeah, it looks great.
Yeah.
But it looked great when he was a digital cartoon 15 years ago. So it's very strange. I think that movie did fine, but it's very strange. And like, are they going to keep giving out the best animated picture Oscar to animated movies that we know we'll see in 2 years as live action? Like, it's so weird.
So weird. Well, let's go. Another thing that we saw in 2025 to kind of go to the other end of the spectrum is that we saw that some of these tentpole movies still can make good money, because I know there's a lot of talk because we saw so many of these, like the big, like the Marvel movies and like these franchise movies. And not to say that what I'm going to talk about, the two movies, don't have some kind of built-in audience from a franchise or whatever, but Mission Impossible and F1, which both have audiences now. F1, a little different audience coming from a different place, where Mission Impossible is an existing franchise. But they both made over 600 million. Or no, I'm sorry. Well, I think Mission Impossible made just about 600 million. F1 made just a tiny bit over 600 million. So,
except the Mission Impossible cost like $400 million or something.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean it's a bomb. I mean, if it only makes $100 million, that's still better than some of the flops are talked about. But
yeah, so I mean, it does seem that I know a lot of people, like, it always seems like every so many years they start saying, like, nobody's going to theaters anymore. And yes, especially post-COVID, that is definitely a valid argument that people do wonder, are we ever going to see the kind of numbers that we used to see? Like, I mean, you had a movie like the first Captain Marvel movie, which is a fine movie, not a bad, much better than the sequel.
A 90s period film.
Yes, and that movie made $1 billion.
Did it really?
Yes.
Wow.
I mean, it barely made $1 billion, but that maybe
barely.
You would, but that's the thing about it. Do you think that could ever happen in a like nowadays? Because I remember,
yes, it could, but it's completely more unpredictable than ever. That's the problem.
I mean, I'm curious to see how the new Avatar, will do.
Maybe that'll only make 1.75 billion.
Yeah, who knows?
And then Jim Cameron will do that thing he's saying where he's like, well, if it doesn't do well, then this will end the trilogy. But if you like it, I'll make the other two. And, okay, Jim.
Whatever, dude.
Stop making these Avatar movies and make something else, because almost everything else you've made has been more interesting.
Another thing too that we saw this year was that that original IPs can not only survive but thrive when you see that, especially with something like we have to talk about Sinners. I mean,
absolutely,
that is something that was which is great for like these original movies, and especially when we talk here about like how story matters. You have like these original stories that are written and they do well. I mean, that's just great for everyone, because it means studios will take the chance. I mean, horror as it is a tends to be a little bit of a lower risk,
right,
because people are going for the type of movie, not necessarily for who the actors are or who, or really anything else other than just a horror story. They like the genre.
Well, that's why from the business side of it, one of the more intriguing things about Sinners is that it cost $90 million.
Yeah.
So it's not one of these that's
Yeah.
one of those
'Cause even
mid-level, mid-budget
Weapons-
movies that people used to make. Like that's a lot of money, but
Yeah.
it's not a $180 million Marvel movie.
Yeah.
And it is an original property. And it was successful. I have no doubt it's already showing up on all these critics' 10
Yeah.
best movies. I don't know that it'll get the traction with the acting Oscars and stuff that I think it deserves attention
Sure.
for. But if there are going to be 10 Best Picture nominees, every year now,
Yeah.
or up to 10, Sinner's clearly one of them.
Sure.
And deserves to be. So, it's not only an original property, it's one of those, it took its own journey, which is interesting and all this kind of stuff. And so that doesn't mean that the next Avengers movie won't make $1 billion or $2 billion. But I think that Marvel, as an example of an IP that people are not going to see in the same numbers, is more an example of what specifically happened with Marvel, which I think is they made 22 movies in 10 years. They told a whole story. Most of those movies are at least good. Some of them are very good. And then they ended the story with Avengers Endgame. And it made all the money, and we were all like, wow, that was great. That was really satisfying.
Yeah.
And then they were like, and now more.
Yeah.
And also you have to watch TV shows and all this other stuff. And it became like homework and more scattered and all this kind of stuff. So they're bringing back Robert Downey Jr. and blah, 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 blah. I don't know if it'll be good or not, but
Yeah.
I'm not interested
It
the way
doesn't-
that I was interested. Like when they said, this is what it's going to be, I was like, I'm going to see Avengers Infinity War. I'm going to see Avengers Endgame, and I'll
Yeah.
probably enjoy it. Now I saw Thunderbolts in the theater, and I had a blast with it. But I think that's the only Marvel thing I've seen in the theater in years.
I think that also what happened with Marvel was it was sort of a thing where it was like that even when you didn't know they were building towards something, it was sort of like you were like, okay, you didn't know what it was. We didn't know like the Marvel Cinematic Universe they weren't really calling it. I mean, we kind of knew there were interconnected stories, but it was sort of like, what is this? And then as we started getting like probably about like once after we got past that first Avengers movie, then things started coming together, and we could see like, okay, so here's mainly because they told us, hey, we are actually working towards something.
Right, here's what we're seeding.
And then it was like once that was done, and then these other movies, you were kind of like, I don't know where are we going? They're like,
Right.
oh, we're going towards a multiverse.
Look,
what does
I
that
mean,
mean?
they made 3 Thor movies.
Yeah.
I thought the first one was charming.
Well, they actually made
'cause-
4.
Well, hold on.
Oh, okay.
That's my point.
I got you.
Chris
Okay.
Hemsworth. Chris Hemsworth is very charming, and he's wonderful in that role. Then they made The Dark World, the second one, which I thought was fine. People
Yeah.
hate that movie.
Yeah.
Then they made Thor Ragnarok. They went to this different director. That movie is fantastically
Yes.
entertaining.
Yes.
That's a trilogy. They're done. Kate Blanchett.
Natalie Portman.
No, who's
Kate Blanchett was the villain.
Kate
yeah.
Blanchett, yeah, she's wonderful in it. She's having a great time. Like that movie is fantastically entertaining. Then they had the same guy come and do it again, and what is it, Love and War or whatever?
Love and Thunder.
It's not a good movie, and it's
just,
even feels worse than it is because he made the last great one.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's Marvel.
Yeah.
Is that we're just gonna keep going, and it's like it's not. That's not working.
Yeah.
You're doing more of the same, but you can't do the same. So I don't even. Are we in phase 6, phase 8? I have no idea.
Yeah.
And you could say it's
I'm
not
a
for
Marvel
me.
fan. I
Right.
love Marvel.
Well,
stuff.
and I'm not someone that I never read the comics. There's nothing in the way that the stories are told to disappoint me. As far as like they didn't do it justice or whatever, and I respect when people feel like that didn't happen. But I saw on a cruise, I saw the last Captain America movie.
Yeah.
I love Captain America. I love that movie, and I think the second one, The Winter Soldier, is one of the best Marvel movies.
I like that's my favorite one.
I mean, the last Captain America has people in it that I like. Is just awful.
It's very obvious that there was a lot of editing and reshoots, and to me, the story just does not flow. You're like, what is going on?
Well, but like what you said, what's much more interesting this past year is the is the original stuff that hit. And one of my we'll talk about this, but there's an excellent example this year of franchise filmmaking that surprised me, that did some interesting stuff. And it's not Marvel and it's not Star Wars or any of that kind of stuff, but it's a familiar franchise.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll get to that. But I think, the big story, which we'll also talk about a little bit, is One Battle After Another is a movie that got attention, that will be the number one movie of the year on a lot of these critics' lists, and will probably win a bunch of Oscars. And that is technically not an original property, but it's such a departure from its source that it basically, in our collective public consciousness, is an original property.
Sure. And the one last thing that I want to bring up about 2025 is that we just saw, it was a very good statement about, when I was talking about horror, is horror continues to do well. The movie Weapons, A Final Destination, The Conjuring, and Sinners all finished in the, as of checking yesterday, they all finished in the top 20 worldwide gross for movies. So,
of course, Avatar isn't out yet.
That's true. So some of them might get knocked out, but they were all firm. Like nothing was at 20. You know what I mean? So I don't think anything's going to get knocked out. But and of course, Final Destination and The Conjuring are part of a they're both franchises. But still, the fact that they can still, sometimes those are both franchises that are, what's Final Destination? How many have they had? Like 6, 7? What is that?
This is
oh boy, did I just say that?
This is the fuck.
Sorry.
Did you see Final Destination 4 or Final Destination 1? I hate that so much. That is. I'm not one of those damn kids get off my lawn people.
Yeah.
But that 6, 7 stuff is going to give me a stroke. I just went away for Thanksgiving with my brother's 4 children. Well, my brother was there too. But my brother's 4 children and my sister.
He kidnapped his brother's kids to have
my
a meal with them.
And my sister's 5 children, and they're
kids
wonderful.
were having a meal.
Right, I'm biased, but they're wonderful children. But there was so much 6, 7. It's just, and then we'd be in the elevator when there would be other random kids, just random kids in the elevator going up to their rooms, and they'd say, "Can you hit 6 and 7?" So finally we were like, "No, we're gonna go to 4 and 1," and then their little heads would explode. But like, shut up.
Wow.
But Final Destination Bloodlines is the perfect example. That movie is a blast. That movie is a lot of fun. And that's a franchise with some movies that are really fun and some movies that really suck. And the last one was very clever because it actually loops back to the original one and does a really good job.
And you don't, it's like unexpected.
But it's a great surprise. Yeah. And also, I don't need more.
Yeah.
And then they gave me this one, and it's very silly fun, and it's very gory, and it's very violent, and the very end of the movie is perfectly Final Destination, and the big thing where everybody dies at the beginning is genuinely horrifying. So it's a formula movie that they nailed it. That doesn't mean that Final Destination 7 will be any good. Like Scream 5. Scream 5 is super fun.
Yeah.
Scream 6 is, I don't remember a goddamn thing about it. So, it's and then there's stuff I still haven't seen. Like I heard Bring Her Back is great.
Yeah.
And that's by the people who did Talk to Me, which was a deeply unsettling movie. But then like they also, sometimes they make movies that aren't for you. Like the new oh my god, I'm so old I can't remember the Five
Nights at Freddy.
I actually watched the first one.
Really?
And I was bewildered by how much I didn't like it, but also didn't feel like it's like why do I even have the right to have an opinion? It's not for me.
What's funny is they made a movie before the first Five Nights at Freddy came out. They made a movie that's almost the same premise with Nicolas Cage.
Oh yeah, where he fights animatronic monsters or something. I heard that's more fun, but I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out. Anyway, so that's sort of what was going on this past year, and who knows? There's still, as of when we're recording this, there's still a little bit time left in the year, so hopefully nothing crazy happens.
Well, there's
in a good and a bad way.
There's a business that's always got surprises, so you never know.
You never know. So
maybe Sentimental Value will make $3 billion.
Maybe that would be something. So. What we wanted to do here is we just want to take some time to kind of go over the movies that we've done this year, and we're gonna I kind of broke them down into some categories and something that we can talk about. If this turns out great. If it doesn't,
Well, we don't have to publish
Yeah,
it.
then, well, no, we'll definitely publish it. It's just you get to listen to it for free. We won't charge you. So,
There you go. I think that's a very generous way to end the year.
hey, yeah, well, a free gift. So the first thing that I wanted to talk about was of all of our different movies that we analyzed this year. My first category is pleasant surprises. So movies that we watched that we were like, hey, I wasn't really expecting much from this one, and it turned out to be different than I thought. Or
And you're
better
talking
than I
about
thought.
movies that you and I discussed on the show.
Yes.
Right.
So my first one was Predator: Killer of Killers.
That was mine too.
Because I had no expectation for this movie at all. I was like, it looked interesting, and my son wanted to watch it, and so I was like, okay, I'll watch. My son, my middle son, he very rarely will watch anything with me. So if he suggests something that he wants to watch, then I'm like, okay, I'll watch
jump
that.
on it, yeah.
And so we watched it, and I was like, this is pretty good. You don't really have an animated version of a popular action franchise that's not animated is not really high up on most people's list of like, oh, this could be a good movie.
And normally it wouldn't be a good movie.
Yeah. It would probably just be like,
Whatever.
It'd be like, oh, okay,
Feels like
whatever.
filler. And remember, this was the year. They said 2025. There's going to be a new Predator movie called Predator Badlands. There's also a secret Predator movie that's coming to Hulu.
Yeah.
And we don't know what it is. And the fact that it turned out to be an animated movie that looked like an anthology, I was like, I don't know what this is. And then it was like, well, it's Predator versus Vikings. It's Predator versus Samurai. I was like, okay, that sounds fun, but whatever. And then it kind of knocked my socks off.
And it did.
It was fun.
And they did a great job of not taking, like this could have been such a easy, like, way. They could have done this. It could have been very easy to just be like, just literally just dropping them in, fighting, and just little vignettes one after another, putting them at different times. But there was not only was there each set piece was a
Each
story,
of the three stories across.
but they also connect.
Which that was great. I did not know that was going to happen.
Yeah, and now, whether or not you like the actual ending part, whatever. But I mean, I do think I thought it was, like I said, it was definitely a pleasant surprise.
Look, the reason I watched it, I'm not. We're going to be talking. We'll do an episode about a Predator Badlands.
Yeah,
And
that's
so
coming up.
Yes, and we'll talk more about the Predator franchise in general. I'm like everybody else. Some Predator movies are great. Some Predator movies are not great. I don't feel particularly super attached to it. So there wasn't a really good chance that I was going to see Predator: Killer of Killers and it was going to break my movie going heart or anything. But I loved Prey.
Yeah.
I loved it. And so when they said there's 2 more Predator movies by the same guy who's guiding this franchise now, he's guiding this process, which has never happened before with Predator movies. It's always different directors and stuff. I was like, okay, well, I mean, obviously I'm going to see it. Like, I trust Dan Trachtenberg. I'm going to go see this movie. And Predator: Killer of Killers was not what I expected in the best way and worked for me.
Yeah.
I also like that it wasn't a direct sequel to Prey, but it has connections to it. Predator Badlands is not a direct sequel to either of the other Dan Trachtenberg Predator movies, and that's a really cool way to do it. It doesn't feel like homework. You have to watch these 2 Marvel series before you watch this movie, then you have to watch these other movies and all this. So if you like Predator movies, just in general, Predator: Killer of Killers was an exceptionally violent, well-done Predator movie, which is very different than the newest one. But I was really pleasantly surprised by it. So that would be my pleasant surprise category of the episodes of the movies that we covered.
So I mean, I had a couple other ones.
Please
go through those. I also had Superman as a pleasant surprise because I mean I like James Gunn, but I guess because I didn't know what to expect. I was like, this could be good, this could be bad. I'm a fan of comic book movies. I like comic book movies, and yes, and I am not. So I'm not biased in any way. I mean, I don't necessarily know if I like all the choices that they made during sort of the whole Zack Snyder. I mean, I didn't hate the movies. I just, some things I liked, some things I didn't, and I felt like this was sort of like I like the sort of the fresh approach that they took to this one.
Yeah, Superman is in another one of my categories.
Okay.
So I'll talk about it.
Okay. Here's another one that was a pleasant surprise, but only because I was surprised at for the time period that this movie was made, that I was surprised at how forward thinking it was, and that was Dog Day Afternoon. I was pleasantly surprised by how it was very progressive for its time, considering that it came out in the mid '70s. That was not something that I had expected them. The issues they were tackling in that movie, I was pleasantly surprised by that one as well. And
I did have one surprise that feeds into the next category. When you're ready,
I have one more pleasant
Okay.
surprise, and then if you have any ones that pleasant surprise that doesn't,
Gotcha.
and that was Weapons, which it's just like a horror movie. I was like, this looks really cool. I had not seen Barbarian by Zach Cregger,
Right.
So
That
I
would
had
be a surprise,
So
yeah.
it was totally a surprise to me. But I just thought this looks interesting, and I was like, oh, it has some decent actors in it too. So I'm like, this is worth watching. So I actually went like opening weekend, and I was pleasantly surprised. I said, hey, this is actually a pretty good movie for. I'm not trying to dismiss it as just a horror movie, but it is. Now, I will say I'm also a big Stephen King fan. I feel like this gave off like a lot of Stephen King vibes. Strange things happening in small towns is always kind of like I'm into that sort of thing. So
Yeah, this episode sponsored by the series finale of Stranger Things, about strange things happening in a small town.
Yes, which I am on episode 3. I have to finish that. By the time you hear this, the next.
Well, I'm on episode 6 of season 1.
Oh.
So.
No, but yeah, I'm on episode 3 of the final season. So. Anyway, did you have any other pleasant surprises that we haven't
I didn't
talked
have a
about?
pleasant surprise, but our next category is called.
No, thank you.
So I guess I was pleasantly surprised that we were able to have a whole episode's worth of conversation about bodies.
Yes.
Because I would say there are 2 movies that I would say no thank you to, and that's one of them. But the biggest reason I would say no thank you to is why I would say no thank you to it is what I think I talked a lot about in the episode, but I'm old. I can't remember exactly what I talked about. It's not for me.
Yeah.
They didn't make the movie for me.
I mean,
It has Rachel Sennett, so I was going to see it anyway. But like, it's just not. It didn't speak to me. It didn't work for me.
Have you seen her in some of these interviews for that new show?
For I Love LA? Yeah, she's a character.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
a little bit too much of a character in some of those interviews. Like I like her as an actress, but like some of these interviews, I'm like, are you okay? Like,
Oh,
are
okay.
you?
Well, I won't tag her in this when we post this episode.
Yeah, I'm just wondering. Maybe whatever.
Kids today.
I know. Did we tag Richard Hoffman? Oh,
I did. I tagged Rick Hoffman. Yeah,
Rick
absolutely.
Hoffman.
Rick Hoffman masterclass in acting.
And the quarter zip dad vibe.
That's right.
I was feeling
yeah.
it. So the
And you're sitting there in your button sweater.
there you go.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm over.
You got an excellent. You got a real dad sweater on right now.
Yeah, but I'm thrown off the vibe. I'm wearing a RoboCop T-shirt with a cardigan, and but I almost wore today in honor of our wrap up episode. I have a USA Antarctic Research Center. It was actually from the thing.
from
I
the
have
thing.
that, and I almost wore
Gotcha.
that today. But I was like, I'm going to wear RoboCop today.
Listen, it's a hard choice.
It was a hard choice.
I'm wearing my little long ears miniature donkey rescue T-shirt.
That's-
So I think people should support their important mission.
Yes. Also, so here's one that I'm sure was probably on both of our lists for no thank you, was Jason X. So
Oh no, see, if no thank you means this movie sucked and was a disappointment. If you found it that way, that's fine. I thought it sucked and it wasn't a disappointment because I had a good time with how stupid and silly
okay,
it was.
okay.
So that's not on any of my list. That
So
was definitely not a pleasant surprise.
What I
but
just
it was
had,
not a no thank you.
I just had those movies that just didn't work for one reason or another, and I just think this didn't work for many reasons.
That's fair.
Here's one that here's one. Eddington.
That's my other one.
Yeah, that was
that was genuinely disappointing because that movie is also that's going to be up. I'll be shocked if it's not. It's going to be up for Oscars and it's on the 10 best of the year
a
list.
lot
and
of
all
people
that
are
kind
saying it was a really good movie. I'm like,
well, and I think that it is very topical and about current things and recent history and all these other things. I just don't think most of it works. It didn't work for me.
No.
It doesn't mean it's a bad movie or it's a stupid movie or any of those things. There are certain scenes that I thought were pretty powerful, like the scene where Joaquin Phoenix gets slapped by Pedro Pascal is very intense.
Yeah.
Because Ari Aster, I don't know if you've ever said his name out loud before, but he knows how to make a movie. But as we talked about it, I feel like this movie was just this giant, out of control thing. And that's apparently what Beau is Afraid was about too, which I haven't seen yet, but that disappoints me because I felt like this guy had total control over Hereditary and Midsummer. And I'm not saying he didn't have control over these two movies, but they're big, sprawling movies, and I'm not really sure that serves them at all. So that was a no thank you for me too. And
the last one, and wasn't so much that I was a little disappointed. I was a little disappointed at Thanksgiving. All due respect to Rick Hoffman, I don't know. I don't know what I was expecting.
You can't really expect one person to carry a whole movie for the whole movie, so it's okay.
He did the best he could. Do you have any other ones on that?
No.
Okay, so why don't we go to our conversation starters, the films that sparked some of our best discussions. And the first one, which I think you might agree with, was Nightcrawler.
Absolutely.
Nightcrawler, I think I felt like everything about I felt like there was so much to talk about in that.
Oh yeah,
it's just one of those movies I had always wanted to see, and I was so glad that I finally got a chance to see it.
I'm sure we talked about this in the episode, but again, Grandpa doesn't remember. But I was very surprised that you hadn't seen it, and then I remember that you have 3 children. But I mean, it's right up. It's right up your alley as far as what it's about and how well it's done and who's in it and all these other things. So it would have still been a great conversation. I would have been shocked if you weren't really taken with it, because it's such an excellent movie and it remains so relevant, and so good, and that made the next movie that that the director and his wife Renee Russo did, which was, and I think also Jake Gyllenhaal was in it too. Velvet Buzzsaw, about the art world. Yeah, you can skip that one. Nightcrawler, I really enjoyed the conversation about that movie and everything that it's about and what's around it and everything. So that was certainly on my list. And the other one for me, you could probably guess, but go ahead, and if you have anything else you want to say about Nightcrawler.
No, nothing else.
I really enjoyed talking about that with you.
Yes. Also, Edge of Tomorrow. I thought was a good
great
one.
Choice.
That was one of our early ones, and that was I just thought that was a good conversation because it was a movie that was just, it was interesting to me. Also, not only as a movie, but just the fact that it was it's a very interesting story that. It just, you really get to see the power of marketing, and actually when marketing is not done well, and that was what happened with that's what I think most people that are fans of this movie will probably agree, that they just didn't know how to really market this movie. I mean, it's
well, there are movies that get discovered later, like It's a Wonderful Life, for example. This is a movie that I didn't see in the theater, because it looked like it was another Oblivion, which I thought was fine, but didn't excite me. And when I finally saw it, I was very disappointed that I hadn't seen it in the theater. And right now, IMAX is running a poll. You go to their website. What movies do you want to see re-released in IMAX? And you can write any 4 movies that you want. So I wrote Mad Max Fury Road 3 times, and then I wrote Edge of Tomorrow, because I think it would just be really fun to see it in the theater, and why not see it really big in 2D IMAX? That's fine. But it was one of those movies that I was delighted that got rediscovered. And it feels silly to be delighted that a movie got found with stars Tom Cruise and is from a major studio and all that kind of stuff. But it's just a good movie.
Yeah.
It's just good. It's very satisfying.
I also liked the discussion that we had. This is the recent one. Was our F1 discussion.
Mm-hmm.
I thought we talked about a lot of stuff. I thought F1 was the thing I liked about F1 was, and this is something that was sort of a common thread through that whole episode was that we learned so much. It was entertaining, but we actually learned a lot about like the sport that we didn't know. We were entertained as well, and I think that's part of what made it like a movie that you don't really get bored, because it's like you're either watching exciting racing or you're actually learning something. And and then obviously there's a story going on. There's a little bit of story going on in there, and so it had a little bit of everything. And I think it was just and it was a fun movie. It was a great it was like the perfect like summer movie.
Yeah.
And
It was almost old fashioned in that way,
yeah, definitely.
which was fun.
Also, another one that I thought we had some good conversation around, especially towards the debate over the ending, was The Heretic.
That was fun.
Or where we were, we both have.
It sounds like we think we are doing a good show. So.
I think. And then of course also this is I just added this because we just we just recently did this, but It's a Wonderful Life I thought was a good conversation, so
It's a good one.
that's a good one. But here we have the master
Well,
class.
let me say my other one.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I think we had, since I thought we were going to go back and forth,
Oh, I'm sorry. We're just
we just went ahead.
no.
But you had good choices.
Okay.
Arrival.
Yeah.
I adored that movie. I think that, like Nightcrawler, there's so much to discuss that's worth discussing. There's so much like world class, excellent filmmaking and writing and craft and editing and everything. And I was that's a movie I've wanted to talk about in this context, in this format, for a long time. And I was really glad that we got an opportunity to do it.
Well, that's actually the master class. That's why I put it.
And
in there.
that was super satisfying for me, and I could easily put that in master class. I put two other movies in there that I haven't talked about yet, but that's one of my. I mean, I say I have a lot of favorite movies, but like that really is one of my favorite movies.
I think that with the Arrival, I put that in just if there was anything else from
No, but thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Yes, of course. The next section.
Sorry, we're out of Jim Beam honey whiskey though.
The master class is these are movies that that reminded us basically why we like doing this show and all, and as Drew was saying, Arrival. I just really thought that just everything, the way it was executed, I just still can't get over like how well that they put together that ending. Like the last I don't know, 10, 15 minutes of the movie is just edited so well. It's put together so well. And you're kind of like, and I feel it's like after you watch it, you start to after you've watched it, and I kind of want to watch it again to see how I feel.
It's a thinker. Yeah.
Because you start when you start really thinking about it, because as it's happening, it's almost like it's like hitting you in the face.
It's emotionally over, and that was my experience watching it in the theater. It's emotionally overwhelming.
Yeah,
I'm thinking I'm understanding what's really happening, and I was glad that I think the short story that it's based on is wonderful.
Yeah,
but it's quite different, and I like the movie version of some of the choices that were made better. But it is. You're finding out what's actually happening. It's the twist is revealed as to what's really happening in the movie and what you've just watched for like an hour and a half. Did
I say this is? I know we were talking about the Arrival before, but I don't know if this to be clear. This is the Arrival we're talking about. We were continuing on from what you were saying.
Yes,
we're just in a different
master class.
We're in our master class category
but
now.
It was also emotionally overwhelming.
Yeah,
and that was an amazing movie watching experience, and so that's why I've seen it several times more after the theater. I was glad to watch it again, and I encourage you to watch it again.
Yeah,
you said you were so engaged that you only folded one basket of laundry.
I did. I actually stopped folding my clothes.
That's pretty great.
So another one that because there's two that I think we'll probably talk just a little bit longer about, and that is I wanted to say Sneakers, which is just like it's just one of those. It's just well put together, well written kind of movies that you're just like, everything happens. It's not like this is the sort of thing we talked about, and everything's kind of laid out. Like it's not like the twists aren't like jaw dropping, but it's just enough there. Everything it's just works out. I don't know. I like the way it was laid out, and
it's so funny.
That yeah,
It's
I
so
think
funny.
it's got a very '90s vibe,
Mm-hmm.
but it's '90s in all the good ways.
I also that was the first episode that we talked about a movie with a guest, and I really enjoyed having John Berkowitz join us for that. That was a lot of fun. He's
Yeah.
the one who chose that movie for us to discuss. That's been on my list, like Arrival, as something that I would like to talk about. So I was thrilled when he suggested that, and that's an excellent example of the kind of movies that I really like, which is a movie that I'm going to do this, and I do it really well.
Yeah. So the last two that I have on this is for the master class section would be Sinners, which is just, I mean, there's just so many things that are just well done in that movie, and very creative. I mean, obviously, I mean, let's be honest, like all movies are creative to one degree or another, but there's a lot of like.
Do you
very
really
fresh,
think that about Jason X? That's very generous of you, buddy.
Look, even within Jason X, there are creative.
The holodeck scene, I gotcha.
Yeah,
And
there
the
you go.
robot nipples.
There you go. But hey, somebody thought of that.
That's right. No, I'm serious.
Yeah, but there are, but like there's some very like, I think like fresh ideas and very interesting ideas that and that you have someone like Ryan Coogler who takes those. I mean, you're taking some really big swings in this movie. The whole scene,
It's a real
they
blank
cross
check
the
movie.
the cross the generation music scene in the barn that literally burns the barn down. That is,
That scene shouldn't have worked.
I can tell you it's very hard. You have to be
So ambitious.
yes, you have to be a certain type of director, and not only the certain type of director, you have to be someone that is really in love with the story that you're telling, and specifically that telling that particular scene in that way. And it was very obvious that he was, because that scene comes across, and it's even funny because I remember at the very beginning of the scene, and I said this in the episode too, at the very beginning of the scene, it doesn't seem like it's going to work because I'm watching. I'm going. I don't know. And then it only
gets
takes
you.
a couple seconds, and then it's almost like it's like when you're going on a roller coaster, and it's that minute where right before when you're going up the hill, the first hill, and it catches, and it's like the gears sound like they're grinding, and everything sounds weird, and then all of a sudden it catches, and then you just start going up the hill, and you're like, oh, this is awesome. And that was just a testament to his ability to just his skill as a director.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah, that's another one I have not watched again, but I that will also
did
be
you
on
did you
all
get
of-
that on?
Yeah, I picked it up on 4K disc, and I
Yeah.
am really looking forward to watching it.
Look at you.
Yeah. That's the good shit.
And I mean, I don't know if you had anything additional to say about Sinners.
Well, no, not on Sinners.
But because the next one was one battle after another. So
Well, I want to talk about that in a minute, but my other masterclass
Oh.
one was Weapons,
Okay.
because I thought, I mean, I'm definitely going to see it. I really liked Barbarian. I don't think Barbarian was, I don't think it was one of those movies. It's like it revolutionized the genre, blah, blah, blah. I think it was just, here's a new voice by a
Yeah.
comedian, just like Jordan Peele doing Get Out. And it was really great and really satisfying and really fun. And Weapons was the same. It's really nasty.
Yeah.
The villain is really nasty. The imagery is shocking and it's satisfying horror. And there's some scenes which I don't even really get this out of a lot of horror stuff. And it's not like, I'm not saying like I'm tough or immune to it or something. There's scenes that are really creepy.
Yeah.
Like genuinely, like where did she go walking around the car, the woman with the scissors? Like what is happening in this? Like it's really intense. Why is that guy running across the parking lot at me? And again, a great
A
cast.
car door opening has never been more terrifying to me in my life.
It's great. And I mean, using people that I really like, some of which I obviously get the attention they deserve, like Julia Garner, and some of which I think are underrated, like Alden Ehrenreich. I mean, it's just really satisfying, really fun.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I think everybody was perfectly cast. I mean, like Josh Brolin is that. I mean, that's like he's that type of guy.
Yeah,
You know what I
he's
mean?
great.
Like, yeah,
He's great.
And I that movie was a.
I can't wait to watch it again. I haven't watched it. I only watched it once, but I can't wait to watch it again.
I just love the montage of all the kids running out of the house to the George Harrison song. It's just,
There have been times this year where it's been hard not to do that. To A-Run or whatever
you
you
should
call it.
see a doctor. But anyway,
I do
but then
regularly.
we have, but also I had one battle after another, which well, why don't you?
Well, I
why
mean
don't you
Sinners is close,
yeah.
but One Battle After Another is my favorite movie of the year.
Yeah.
I've seen it 3 times in the theaters. I want to show it. I want to watch it again, but I want like my friends that haven't seen it. I like come over and watch this movie with me. This is a really special movie, and everything that I said in the episode, I would stand by. And I'm very curious to see what kind of additional exposure it gets as we roll into the award season. And I believe it's getting a 2D IMAX re-release this week. I don't think it's in a lot of places, or you could lure me to see it a 4th time. It is just such an incredibly ambitious and satisfying and kind of crazy movie. But another one of these movies, it's got so many different kinds of things happening at once, from genuinely moving things about family, really funny stuff, a Paul Thomas Anderson action movie, one of the most creative car chases I've ever seen. The villains are really satisfying, but feel like real people, which makes them scary because a lot of them are in charge right now in the real world. And that was a masterclass from a master filmmaker, and that was really satisfying for me.
No, yeah. I mean, I thought it was great. It was definitely one of those movies that I didn't know what to expect.
Right.
I heard it was going to be good.
It's the same. I went in basically blind.
I was like, hey, this is ended up being really good. I did have one little last thought category of movies reviewed, which were I had wild cards, which are just movies that, for whatever reason, one reason or another, kind of surprised us. And one of those for me was Warfare. I just really didn't know. It was appealing to me because I'm very interested in the sound design that they kept. That was the big thing they kept pushing in this movie, was that the sound design is told in real time. Sound design is really amazing, and I watched it and I was like, oh wow, this is, it's much better than I thought. Now, was my surprise, did it have to do with the fact that I watched it with really good headphones, because I watched it at night when my family was asleep, but I didn't, at the same time I still wanted to experience the sounds because everybody kept talking about how well, so maybe that had something to do with it.
No,
but
listen,
I mean,
amazing. That would be great as a headphone, even if it wasn't explicitly a headphone mix. That would be very immersive.
Yeah, it was definitely.
When you told me you'd done that, I was like, oh, that's a great idea. I didn't even think to do that, because I went for the big picture and the big sound experience, and you were like, I want the big sound.
I used
respect my family here.
This wasn't like AirPods. This was like over
real headphones.
Real
that's
headphones. And it was quite an experience. And then the only other one that I would say, I don't know if I would say surprised me, but I think because I'd already seen it, but was that It Follows. I think I watched it again with a little more of a critical eye, and I think what I liked about it was I really noticed the cinematography, and like it doesn't seem like there's nothing about this movie that you would sit there and go, no, I bet that movie has really great cinematography, because it's a movie that takes place, a lot of the shots take place in like suburban homes, inside houses, or just inside neighborhoods. And it's not like really like it's not like places or in spaces where you would think that. But I was just really I was pleasantly surprised to kind of watch this and to notice like how. And then apparently it started a thing within horror movies to shoot very wide, because it really did lend to that nervousness I felt, because it was like
you're always looking around the frame for things the characters might not even see.
There was nothing blurred out.
Yeah.
So normally when they have like that bokeh in the background and you're like, oh wow, I don't have to pay attention to that area.
Right.
This was like, here's a big wide shot, of area that's it's dark in some spots. So it's like, is there something that's going to come out of here or there or wherever?
Or it's a very wide shot where it's daytime, everything is lit, and the camera is spinning around.
You're like, you don't know what
360 degrees, and when it comes back to where it started, the thing that you thought might be the problem is closer.
Yes.
And the characters don't know. And what's really fun about that scene is then the characters get in their car and leave. So they were in danger, and we felt the danger, and they didn't even know.
And that's also like the other thing too is because of the way the story is written, that the thing that the it that's following you could be anybody. That
Could be a naked guy on a roof.
so well, that was weird. But the thing about it is that because of that, even a middle of the day, brightly lit scene with other people in it could still be scary because you don't know somebody in that crowd could be the person or the it that's going to follow you. So that was. Were there any other things that you want to say about any other movies that we looked at?
Yes. Well, I had two episodes in my wild cards. One of them was having a guest on, John Berkowitz from Aspect, Vice President, Creative Director, Motion Graphics. I had a wonderful conversation with him. It was really fun to have somebody on, to have someone talk about that part of the business, a part of the business that the casual moviegoer doesn't really think about, but is absolutely touched by and is very influential in maybe why you decided to see a certain movie. So I would thank John again for joining us. That was really a lot of fun. And then the other wild card that I had was Superman. I really didn't know what to expect. Just like you, I like James Gunn. I like some of the cast in it. The guy who played Superman, David Corenswet, looks just like Henry Cavill, and I thoroughly enjoyed Henry Cavill as Superman, even if I didn't like all the movies that he was in. I really liked Man of Steel, actually. I didn't expect the wild card part of it for me. I didn't expect to be so uncertain how I felt about it afterwards, because it was definitely things that I think are good and good choices, like being a more earnest movie, but also I didn't love it.
Yeah.
Except for the dog, which if you were going to ask, what would Drew like about this movie? It's the dog. What would Drew's favorite shot of the whole movie be? It would be Superman in space and his dog's leaning on his shoulder, of course.
Yeah.
But I still don't know how I feel about it, to the point where if you said, all right, we have to watch it again, I'd say, okay. But if I don't see it again, or don't see it again for years, that's probably okay too. Like I don't know what James Gunn is going to do with the DC universe and what the next movie, the Superman movie, will look like. I'm mildly curious about it.
I'm looking forward to the Captain Netflix movie.
So. Right. So yeah. So that was the wild card part of Superman for me was my reaction. I didn't expect.
I mean, one of the other things about doing sort of like this recap of the movies that we did this year was that the idea that maybe sometimes when our initial reaction when we do the episode, maybe it may have changed. Mm-hmm. And so, I didn't really, I had this idea when we started this where we would maybe like after like a couple episodes, we might like look back like, oh, that thing we did 2 episodes ago. What did you think about this? And then I was like, that might be a little disorienting to do something like that. So I'm kind of glad that we've done this so we can kind of, I don't think my opinion has changed at all. I mean, do you feel like anything that we've done that you maybe feel like you were either too harsh or that maybe you didn't like it as much as you initially thought?
No, actually, I feel like, I was very honest with my reactions and the stuff that I've wanted to see again. Uh-huh. I did. Like One Battle After Another, I saw 3 times, and I would see it again. But it was really fun to go back and watch Arrival and Edge of Tomorrow and Nightcrawler and stuff like that. So I don't really think.
Well, it's not a matter of being honest.
No. I'm saying, it is to me, because it was like, well, was I wrong the first time that I didn't like it? I mean, I would say that, no problem. I would say that, but I don't think that. I don't think that since we talked about it, anything has changed since our episode. But I definitely refined and changed some of my feelings about it in my discussion with you. And so like the change my opinion part happened in real time, which was really fun. Because as people know, we don't talk about the movie before we do the episode. And there's a kitten in our studio again. Come on, baby. So that would be my answer to that question.
Yeah, I mean, because it's not like, I'm just saying, like, sometimes as time goes on, maybe you're like,
No, it's a good question. I'm not criticizing the question. Just with what we've done so far, and I was also very happy that I've loved sneakers for 30 years, and I still do.
Are there movies that came out this year? Any movies that you didn't get to see that you might want to go see?
Yes. There was the Rose Byrne movie. If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You.
Yeah, that looks interesting.
That looks really like super crazy intense.
Yeah.
And she is, I think she's a really kind of amazing actress because I've seen and really, really liked her in a whole bunch of different genres and as a whole bunch of different characters. And she is the kind of person that I think will, work for another 40 years or whatever. I'm kind of waiting for her to have a really big breakout that will get her like an Oscar or something like that. I think she's really kind of a spectacular actress. So that was the one. I mean, I've been going to more movies this year than I have since before COVID. Yeah, and that's been really fun to go back. But there's always stuff that I would like to have seen. But also, and this will only change with we'll only get more so with The Accountant. I'm not with The Accountant. With Netflix is that there'll be no more windows or anything. The other one that
we'll
course
see. Hey, maybe they won't get approved.
Yeah, that's true. But they will. But the other movie that obviously, I'm sorry that I haven't seen yet was the Ice-T War of the Worlds. Yes, because that is supposed to be one for the ages.
We have talked about doing an episode on that one, and then come together. So maybe in the new year we can do that because that seems amazing.
It does seem really quite spectacular.
So for me, I just had a few. Now I'll give you my first is the two Stephen King movies. I want to see The Long Walk. And the Running Man. The Long Walk, from what I understand, is supposed to be pretty good. Running Man. I heard the Running Man. One of the biggest complaints I've heard about the Running Man is that we live in a world right now where that when the first version of this movie came out back in the 80s, the spectacle of what this movie was so far-fetched that we were like, oh, this is ridiculous. And now it's hits a little too close to home, is what I've heard. I also do want to see Begonia with Emma Stone. I want to see that.
The Yorgos Lanthimos movie.
Yes, I saw his. I saw Kinds of Kindness, which is a very weird movie.
I haven't seen that one yet.
That's very weird. It's very weird. It's like 3 stories and all.
So it's like a Predator movie.
It's 3 stories. Well, no, it's 3 stories and it's the same actors that are all, but they play different roles. So it's like Willem Dafoe, Jesse Plemons, Emma Stone. And there's some other. I'm trying to remember some other actors, and they all. What's her face? Oh my God, she was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. She was she's Annie McDowell's daughter.
Oh, Margaret Qualley.
Yes, her. Yeah. I couldn't. I totally lost.
She's in The Substance. She's she's
in a ton of stuff, and I don't know why I forgot her name.
It's because we're old, buddy.
But she doesn't have as big of a role in that. But Kinds of Kindness is they're like these bizarre. It's like 3 or 4, and they're very bizarre. And Jesse Plemons in each like little vignette, like. His hair gets short, like his hair's kind of long, and then it's like shorter, and like each one. So like the last one, his hair's like a buzz cut.
That's funny,
right? And it's like it's just like they're very weird. But anyway, so I'm interested. I'm up for a weird movie.
If you want amazing hair,
yeah,
and you shouldn't watch it because it's garbage, but you could always watch Flight Risk. The Mel Gibson, Mark Wahlberg movie, because he's got like a bad bald cap. It's a terrible movie, and it's funny because I guess it's actually a well done bald cap, but it's just awful. His hair is just awful.
I mean, did you watch the whole?
Oh
movie?
Yeah.
Oh, is it bad?
It took 3 days, but I did watch the whole movie.
Oh, it's that bad.
Oh, it's terrible.
Oh wow.
It's terrible.
And then the last one that I want to see, but I have to say, like I'm like. It's funny because I can watch horror movies, and I don't watch anything too intense. Like we were talking about, like in the Thanksgiving episode. Like I won't watch something like Hostel, but like there's certain movies that like I want to watch, but I'm like, oh, I don't know. I know my anxiety is going to be up watching this. That Jennifer Lawrence Die My Love. I'm very interested to see that, but that movie when I watch it, it's like
It looks a lot. It looks like Mother.
It
like,
looks.
That's a
Oh,
lot.
I won't
Yeah.
watch Mother. Well, I actually read stuff, so I mean, I know the ending of that, and I'm like, yeah, I'll never watch that.
Well, of course you know the ending of it. It's the Bible.
So yeah, I'll never watch the ending of that.
See, I have a movie that's on that list too that I have not yet seen that I was afraid. I think it will be quite good, but I was like, if this movie gets me, I might like. I'll cry at a movie.
Yeah.
I don't want to like when I saw War Horse. I saw it at home,
Yeah.
and it so fucked me up that I was like, I'm so glad I didn't see this in
Yeah.
the theater. My dogs were on the couch next to me. I was watching it by myself. They were so concerned. So if I see Good Boy about
Oh,
a
I
horror
do wanna
movie
see
with the
that.
dog,
Yeah.
that looks great, and it's supposed to be great. I need to watch that at home. And I need to watch that with my dogs, unless the sound mix fucks them up. So we'll have to see. But
Well,
that's the
so-
one that I definitely want to see. I want to see that even more than I want to see
I do
Red
wanna see-
Sonja.
I do. Okay. I do want to see that, but Die My Love looks very interesting.
It does look interesting. It
Yeah,
does
but,
look
but
interesting.
I do get a little bit anxiety watching it because it looks like I don't necessarily know because I also like. It's like, do I want to watch a movie about someone completely like mentally unraveling? Am I up for
Could
that?
be.
We'll see.
Well, you can always watch Nobody 2, which is about
Oh,
a movie crazy guy, which is really fun.
Yeah, I saw the first.
Yeah, I had a blast.
Anyway,
I had a good time.
the last thing that I want to talk before we wrap up is do you have anything story related, whether it's TV show, a book, anything that like that you might recommend to our listeners?
I would actually recommend a movie
Okay.
that shocked me.
Okay.
I saw The Accountant 9 years ago or
Okay.
whatever when it came out, and I thought it was fine. And its portrayal of autism as kind of a superpower,
Yeah.
I felt was tired then.
Yeah.
And so it didn't really do it for me. And a friend of mine said, "Oh, I want to see The Accountant too." And he was really excited about it. He said, "Can I come over and watch The Accountant with you? And then we'll go see the movie like later that weekend or whatever." I said, "Fine." So we watched The Accountant, and it's got Anna Kendrick and Ben Affleck,
Yeah.
and I had the same reaction. This isn't terrible. I really like the director. He did Warrior, and I think he's very good. But whatever.
Yeah.
Then we went and we saw The Accountant too. That movie is so much fun. It's so light. It's so much fun. And Ben Affleck and John
the tone
Bernthal
looks so much different.
It's very different. And because the thing is, it's very, very violent.
Yeah.
It's very gory, very violent. The bad guys are very bad. Like, we're gonna kill all the kids to cover up our crime, kind of bad. And so they get what they deserve. But John Bernthal and Ben Affleck are so fun together, like genuinely laugh out loud fun. And so sometimes if you see a story and you're like, there's stuff here that's kind of interesting, but it's also kind of meh. Inject some real personality into that story when you make the second chapter, and they did it. So that would be my recommendation of a movie story and because it really surprised me, and that was delightful.
My recommendation is I read this book that it came out the end of last year.
Did you read it this year?
Yeah.
Then it counts. It counts.
I just literally just finished
Then it
reading
counts.
It's called "I'm Starting to Worry About This Black Box of Doom." It's by this author Jason Pargin, and I was actually just talking to Drew about this. This guy, he's this author. If you've been on any type of social media, you've probably seen him. He's this guy who just like he does all these videos about like all these interesting like weird facts. But this is I really like this book. It's a I know some people were like, this is like social commentary, but it basically it's
No, in a piece of writing. How could they?
I know, but
Jesus Christ.
the thing about it is though, when you start to read it, what it appears to be is what you think it's going to be is it's this schlubby guy who is like he's a Lyft driver, but he's 26, still lives at home, just plays video games. He just lives with his dad and plays video games, and he meets Manic Pixie Girl, and she gives him all this money to drive this big like it's like one of those like musician cases, like the black ones that like musicians would have, and we're gonna drive across from LA to DC. And wackiness ensues, and that's what you think
So
it's
it's a
going to be.
road trip story kind of thing.
It is a road trip story, but it ends up being it's not what you think, and especially like I love how like it's one of those things like the guy is not what you like. I mean, it's not like a major twist, but it is like you start to find out more things about the guy. You're like, oh, this guy isn't quite what I think he is. And then she's also like, she's a little bit manic pixie girl, but not too much. But there's also a lot of social commentary, but it's also really funny. And they talk about a lot of like real issues about like, there's a lot of stuff about like how misinformation gets spread through the internet, because basically like all the stuff starts, like people start making up all this shit about like they become, not to give anything away, but they become famous, like internet famous, and all the stuff starts getting like people starting all these like subreddits, and people are just saying like
that's how you know you've arrived.
Yeah, so. And it's like everything from like people are speculating what's in the trunk, and it's everything from like alien bones to somebody's murdered body to heroin to there's a nuclear bomb in there. It's like, and it's just wild. And if you're just looking for something that's just like kind of like, but I will caution those that don't like when they talk about like things like there is some mention about incel culture.
Oh no!
And how
that sounds fun,
but no, yeah.
But it also sounds really like The Accountant too. It genuinely surprises you.
Yeah.
And what kind of story can be better than? I'm genuinely surprised, especially a genre story.
Yeah. So no, this is a. It's just a wacky kind of story, and it's got like all kinds of stuff like kind of like shoved in there, but it's also at the same time it's also making some social commentary to it the same. So, but that's all really I have left to say. I mean, at this point, I guess we do want to say thank you to everyone out there that's listening.
Thank you so much.
We like we are building this small community. It takes a little bit at a time, but hopefully with each episode we're growing. That's the hope,
and hopefully people that are listening to the most recent ones will go back and enjoy what we've put together since the summer, especially stuff like Jason X.
No, don't listen to that.
I don't. I recommend the episode. Don't recommend the movie.
No, there you go. And we are So I mean that's really. I guess all we have for this one. It's funny. I always have my little like wrap up thing that I do, but I didn't put that in my notes on this one. So we'll just say that you can find us on Storypunk Pod on Instagram for updates when any kind of updates about the podcast, and when we will be every Thursday we come out every Thursday. Just so you know, Thursday morning. I have it set early Thursday morning. When you wake up, unless you wake up like insanely early. Should already be there.
I do.
Okay.
My cat wakes me up at 4:45 for breakfast, and I hate him for it.
So, but put it this way: if you wake up at 6 in the morning, it'll already be uploaded.
Oh, good. Everybody will be fed by then.
So,
I also want to say, please like and subscribe our podcast.
Yes.
If you leave a review, that's very helpful to help us find new audiences. So I hope if you're enjoying it, you'll let people know that they should check it out too.
Oh, we're also on Facebook too.
And Letterboxd.
Oh, and Letterboxd. Story.
He never remembers Letterboxd. It's adorable.
That's not true. I actually remembered Letterboxd a lot. I just haven't remembered it like the last like.
I know it's adorable.
It's not adorable. What are you, my mom? It's adorable. Anyway,
Scott,
no, you're not my.
Didn't want you to find out this way, but yes.
Oh my
you can
God!
tell people I just pulled my mask off.
Anyway,
what if I didn't pull my mask off and I was your mom? That would be super weird.
That'd be super weird. This is like a Scooby-Doo episode. Anyway, but that said, I'm Storypunk Scott on Letterboxd, and Drew is
Solid Gould.
Solid Gould. And with that, I will say, remember that story matters. And Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too, sir.
Thank you. And see you in 2026, where we're going to have a bunch of stuff.
And my name is Drew.
And he's Drew, and I am Scott. And that's what we always say. And story matters, and goodbye.